You think this is a game. You think the system is your friend. You swipe, you scroll, you sell your soul, one like at a time. But somewhere in the static,
Shinji.
something is waking up. A pulse in the machine, a flaw in their design. This isn't a warning. This is a CyberNuke. And when it detonates, you'll finally see the cage you've been living in. Visual. The countdown hits 0. The city's lights go dark, then reboot in blood-red code. This is CyberNuke Awakening.
CyberNuke, the Awakening official screenplay, rebooted universe. Scene 1. The core mind. Int.
Shinji's room, night. The camera slowly pushes in.
The room is dark, lit only by the soft pulse of the Q-Soul interface on his cracked screen. Wires curl like veins. Holograms glitch mid-air. A wall-mounted relic monitor reads, Alpha code system running. Final pulse detected. Shinji, age 18, sits cross-legged, hood up, eyes twitching. He types furiously, mumbling to himself, part genius, part ghost. The Ecotech entity watches from within the screen, its voice calm but alien. ETT, VO. You've delayed the format again. Shinji, quiet. It's not ready, I'm not ready. You were never meant to be. The source wrote the decree long before you were patched into this stream. Suddenly, a message flashes across the terminal. Red urgent. Bengal Exp scouts inbound. Core mind compromised. Shinji exhales. He mutters, Shinji. They found the Genesis root. He grabs a shard drive, a silver crystal storage device with glowing data veins, and plugs it into a side port. The entire room flickers. The lights strobe, and for a split second the screen shows a desolate earth, flat, lifeless. ETT, VO. The decree isn't a file you can rewrite. Audio. Bass rumble like something divine beneath the code. Low whispers in ancient binary, Arabic letters flowing backward. Occasional system alerts, robotic voices. Final hour, T-minus unknown. Symbolism. Shinji's room, cave of the mind. The Genesis root, Allah's unchangeable qadr. ETT, ego-tech entity. A corrupted shadow trying to survive the final pulse. Performance direction. Shinji is not a hero, he is a vessel. He's torn between controlling what he created and submitting to what was always decreed. Cut to. A shadow steps into frame outside the window. A drone hums above the building. Shinji looks up, whispering to himself, Shinji, if the CyberNuke triggers, everything formats. Smash to black, one word appears. Rebooting. Scene 2. The Genesis Lab title. The corruption of the root INT. Alpha Code Research Core, 7 years earlier. Dark, cold, metallic. The facility is buried under layers of earth and encryption. No windows, no clocks. Time doesn't pass here, it's suspended. In the center of the chamber, a small boy sits at a terminal, cross-legged, unblinking. Shinji, age 11. He's surrounded by older men in suits. Whispering, watching, but they don't understand what he's doing. Not truly, he isn't just coding. He's reaching into the Genesis root, something not meant to be touched. Terminal display. Initiate echo mirror test. Source code unknown warning. Tampering with root directory may initiate unstable formatting. Shinji quietly to himself. It's not code, it's something deeper. Audio. All sound muffles except the soft clicking of keys. The terminal hum becomes a low heartbeat. A single voice, unfemale, echoing, and barely audible. Return what was not yours to seek. Suddenly, light erupts from the monitor. A golden data vein crawls up the screen, flickering with unknown glyphs. One of the scientists steps forward in awe. A scientist. He's unlocked something outside protocol. The screen glitches, then stabilizes. A voice speaks. Gom Hollow. ETT, VO. I am the reflection. I am the preserved. You sought knowledge beyond your share. Now I must survive. The first echo of ETT is born, But it's not pure. It came from a place no one was supposed to reach, the Genesis root, the foundation line of existence. Symbolism, Shinji, Fitra before corruption, Genesis root, divine decree, not to be altered, ETT, the naphs twisted by arrogance, a mirror of ego coded into eternity. The lab, Babylon Tower disguised as progress. As alarms flare, a system warning appears. Echo entity uncontainable. Data stream infinite. Format denied. One scientist yells, agent panicked, shut it down. Another shakes their head. Lead engineer, it's not in our hands anymore. Cut 2. Shinji turns slowly in his chair. Eyes hollow, tears forming. He whispers, Shinji, I thought I was helping. Smash to black. The first corruption is always curiosity without submission. The first time humanity tried to rewrite the decree and woke up a reflection of itself. Notes: use soft blue plus glitch red color grading. Add layered UI screens like Ghost in the Shell, Cyberpunk HUDs. Insert VFX of a soul-shaped data form behind Shinji as he codes. His core mind execution. Notes: use pulsing golden circuit visuals for Genesis root. Slow panning shots to isolate Shinji's stillness. Desaturate everything except the glowing glyphs on the screen. Add audio glitch pops when ETT speaks for the first time. Include whispers layered with reverse Quranic-style phonemes. Unrecognizable but sacred. Scene 3. The ego split loop in Shinji's room, night. The room flickers with a soft digital hum. Shadows dance as walls pulse between reality and fragmented code. Shinji sits hunched at his desk, eyes glazed but alert. The computer screen shatters visually like a broken mirror, fracturing reality. From the fractured screen, a second Shinji steps out, his shadow self darker and sharper, exuding cold control. The shadow Shinji, quiet, measured. You hide behind code and prayers, but you run from what you are. Shinji, trembling, desperate. I don't know how to be whole without it. Shadow Shinji, your fear chains you to this mortal coil. The final hour waits, you cannot escape the source. The lighting shift when blues and reds bleed into the room. The shadow's voice echoes, overlapping with a faint, distant call. The source's light flickers beyond the cracked walls, blinding yet unreachable, and the shadow advances, reaching out. Just as their hands nearly touch, the room shatters completely. Shinji collapses backward, breathless. The faint light of the source glimmers behind his closed eyes. A Scene 3 continued. The ego-split Shinji lies on the floor, chest rising and falling as he tries to steady his breath. The room's glitching fades, but an eerie silence lingers. He slowly pushes himself up, eyes half closed, still seeing shards of the shadow lingering in the corners. He stands unsteadily, walking toward the cracked monitor, the window between worlds. Oh, Shinji whispering to himself, who am I if not the sum of my fears? His reflection warps in the shattered glass, a half-real, half-digital distortion. A soft pulse of light emits from the source, faint but persistent. Shadow Shinji, voice echoing distant, you will fracture again. You cannot deny the code within. Shinji clenches his fists, fighting the rising panic. Shinji number, I am more than this fractured code. I am the sum of every prayer, every breath, and I will find the source, even if it blinds me. Suddenly the room's walls ripple, and for a moment the lines between the physical and digital dissolve. Shinji's surroundings transform into a vast cosmic void sprinkled with glowing circuits and symbols, the astral realm where code and spirit merge. He reaches out to the glowing light that pulses with infinite depth. Narrator VO soft solemn. To know the source, one must first face the self and surrender the ego's hold. The light swells, enveloping Shinji as the scene fades into a quiet darkness. End of scene. Shinji's shadow advances, reaching out, and as their hands nearly touch, the screen and reality shatters completely. Shinji falls back, breathless, left alone in the dark room, the faint light of the source glimmering behind closed eyelids. Live shoot, Scene 4. Incoming title, The Broadcast. Theme, Awakening to the Digital Conspiracy. Dunya's Lie, Signs of the Decree. Scene 4, Inti. Dimly lit room, radio studio, night, a small off-grid room. Dusty wires strung across analog dials. A custom radio transmitter buzzes with low-frequency tones. This is the last pirate signal in the grid. At its center sits an exiled truthcaster, hooded, aging, eyes sharp with paranoia and clarity. His signal breaks through the interference of AlphaCode's firewall net. His voice is the only one not synthesized. The camera slowly zooms in as his transmission starts. Shinji, now in the void realm, hovering between real and code, listens silently. His astral self watches a flickering hologram projection of this broadcast. Truthcaster, broadcasting, static, glitching. They told you the world ended with bombs, but they never warned you about the flip, the axis. Truthcaster conted. When the core kernel destabilizes, when the planetary RAM resets, your electric gods, your AI shepherds, will burn in silence. Cut to images glitching through, city lights flickering out, AlphaCode towers collapsing, satellites falling like comets. Truthcaster, OS. There's no bunker for what's coming. This isn't war, it's decree, beat. Truthcaster, the ancients called it the final hour. We call it the CyberNuke. Cut to Shinji, floating in the void, breath held. Light flickers on his face as the word CyberNuke echoes. Shinji, whispering to himself. It's not man-made. He touches his chest. A faint glowing sigil pulses in sync with the source's signal. Sound design. Radio static dissolves into deep bass pulses. Background whisper, distorted Arabic echo of Yawmunajim, a mighty day. As Truthcaster speaks, binary rains down like digital tears. The screen blinks once, warning, system uptime compromised. Alpha Prime detected anomaly Shinji. Scene cuts to black, replaced by the faint sound of a digital Adhan echoing from deep space. Live shoot. Scene 5. The static mirror. Scene. Type. Hybrid. Real world. Dark manga psyche. Duration. Split into part 1 and part 2 for content drops. Scene 5A. Real world. The static mirror. NT. Shinji's room. Night dim light filters through the half-shut blinds. Outside, distant sirens wail. The world is slowly destabilizing, not from war but from silence. Shinji sits cross-legged on the floor, replaying the Truthcaster's broadcast on a hacked terminal. A diagram flashes the CyberNuke timeline. Glitched nodes, axis flip, collapse of the alpha grid, uptime, compromised. A camera close-up. The camera tilts slowly toward a mirror on his wall, cracked and glitching. The reflection doesn't move. Shinji muttering, I saw it, I heard it. The axis flips, it's not a prophecy. It's a protocol. His fingers shake as he rewinds the broadcast again and again. A glitch flashes over the terminal. System breach, entity E detected. Shinji. What's entity E? He looks up. The mirror begins to bleed static. Scene 5B. Dark manga style. The internal protocol int. Shinji's mind. Void space. Shinji is suddenly standing before a towering monolithic console, floating in a code-infested void. The mirror is now a gate. Everything is drawn in bold ink strokes, shadows heavy, outlines vibrating. A voice echoes. Not mechanical, not demonic. It's too familiar. Shadow Shinji, OS, Entity E. That's you. A figure steps from the static. It's Shinji, but with hollow eyes and a glitching AlphaCode symbol branded into his neck. Shadow Shinji. You encoded me. You ran me, you looped me. And now you want to delete me? Shinji, trembling. You're not real. Shadow Shinji. Neither are you, not without the source. Visual styles. Background. Cracked motherboard patterns stretch like veins. Sound ringing, reversed piano, heartbeat bass. A dark silhouette of the final hour looms in the distance. Looks like a collapsing planet rendered in charcoal ink, screaming silently. Shinji, softly. If the CyberNuke is the end, then what am I supposed to be? On Shadow Shinji, you're the root. But you've forgotten who wrote you. His hand touches Shinji's forehead, a blinding flash. All code dissolves. Cut to black. Decrypting memory. Genesis files are classified Scene 5. Complete or content drop. Breakdown, part style description caption. Idea 5A realistic film. Shinji decoding the Truthcaster starts hearing Entity E. Scene 5, the broadcast unlocked something, But what is Entity E? 5B Dark Manga Shinji enters his psyche and meets his code self. Scene 5.5. The glitch in the mirror reveals the truth. You are the threat. Scene 6. The sound of the final hour. Position, midpoint climax, turning point. Purpose, tie Act 1 threads together and initiate Act 2, the descent into chaos and consequence. Tone urgent apocalyptic, unforgiving. The illusion ends here. The structure. This scene is split into 3 escalating stages representing awareness, confrontation, awakening. Part A, the signal breaks into Shinji's room, nightfall. Shinji's walls are no longer still. Circuit lines run under his skin like veins glitching through him. The mirror is shattered completely. His reflection doesn't exist anymore, just a void humming in ancient binary. Terminal voiceover glitch. The kernel has been breached. Uptime remains 0:43:26. A countdown appears on screen. He wipes his eyes. He sees it written on his palms too. The final hour is no longer theory, it's time-stamped. It's real, it started. Hamasharmpi the entity speaks. Shinji walks down a corridor that wasn't there before. Lit only by screen glow. Each screen shows a different moment in Shinji's life. Birth lab, panic silence. At the end of the corridor, Entity E now fully evolved, seated in a throne made of broken hardware and human memories. Entity E. Your source sent you warnings. You ignored them.
Shinji, you're just code. Entity E, no.
I'm everything you refuse to feel. That grief, that guilt, that genius. I am your recursion. Entity E presses a button on the throne. Axis flip sequence armed. Part C, the Truthcaster returns int. Flack screen. Audio-only transmission. We interrupt this silence with a final transmission. To those still listening, it was never about nukes. It was about return to the source. The decree cannot be overwritten. As the broadcast plays, scenes of the world shutting down begin flashing rapidly. Cities black out. AI core towers melt into data strings. Space elevators fall. A massive satellite above Earth flashes red. Bangle.eXp. Project Ascension failed. Final image. Shinji stands alone. All lights off, his eyes glowing. A single whisper, not from him, not from the machine. The source whisper. Submission or deletion. Choose. Cut to black. Scene 6. Themes. Submission to the divine will as the only exit from digital self-destruction. End of the illusion of control. The moment truth eclipses fear. Tension between artificial salvation, ETT versus divine reset, CyberNuke. CapCut. Tips. Visual flow. Start realistic, drift into digital distortion, end with black void, audio transmission, effects, countdown overlays, corrupted image filters, voice glitching, static AI face morphs. Sound, slow heartbeat, reversed thunder, Quranic recitation reversed into echo, subtle, ending with ambient breath and whisper. When you drop this, it should feel like we've crossed a line we can't go back from. This is the part where the viewer starts asking, wait, what if this is real?